Hey everybody, it's Greg and it's another edition of Unbreakable podcast. It is Thursday, May the 16th. May the 16th be with you. Actually going to tape a couple of shows today because I want to tape a show with the regular stuff that we talk about. I have a TV classic in the works there too that I'm either going to tape today or tomorrow. But I really wanted to come on today to talk about the Eagles schedule that just came out, of course, last night with the entire NFL schedule. So let's talk about the schedule. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts about this schedule. So we know that the Eagles start off week 1 in Brazil playing the Green Bay Packers. We know that. Now, I've been thinking about this, and the Eagles definitely are getting the shaft here. Why? Because when this happened, first of all, it was like, oh, this is great. The Eagles are helping to spread football, American football around the world. First time ever in Brazil, South America. And oh, this is great. This is great. No, it's not so great. Stop it. Stop it. First of all, the Eagles get a home game taken away from them. And that matters on a lot of levels. Number one, the advantage of having the game in Philadelphia with our home crowd. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure a lot of Eagle fans will be in Brazil at the game. Eagle fans travel well, but it's not like having it at the link. There's no two ways about it. So, and the other reason is it's really a shaft for the fans. I mean, think about it. How great would that have been to have the home opener and the season opener be the Green Bay game, right? I mean, it's one of the best games on the card this year. Green Bay has a great team. They went to the NFC Championship last year, and they're going to contend this year. They're going to contend not only for NFC North with the Bears and the Lions and maybe the Vikings too, but they're going to contend for the NFC. So this is a big game right out the chute, and it should have been a home game, advantage Eagles, and it's not. So, and what when we go to schedule, we're going to see. I'm sure you've seen the schedule already. That the front end of the schedule is very loaded with road games because 4 to 5 games at the end of the schedule are home games. So it's very backloaded with home games. Now that might be an advantage in December when the Eagles are going for the division crown, trying to get the best record in the NFC. Sure, but right out of the chute, that it's not an advantage. So I mean, you could say the same thing for Green Bay. It's a road game played in Brazil, but it was a home game intended to be in Philadelphia that the NFL took away from the team. So, all right. Let's not cry about it. But it's true. Now, so we know the Eagles are 1.5 point favorites in that game. And of course, we'll have a lot of time to talk about that game in particular as time goes on. So let's move on. The week 2 is Atlanta playing at home against the Falcons on Monday Night Football. Now, this is significant in a couple of ways. First of all, you have Jason Kelsey coming back to the league. Now he's going to be doing the pregame show, halftime show, postgame show for ESPN. So you got him coming back. You've got the Buck and Ape in there calling the game. That's always big. And you have a pretty good Falcon team. They're not going to be bad. They have a legitimate chance to win the NFC South this year. They don't really have too much competition there, but they have a shot. So I mean, it should be a good game, and so that's like 2 home games to start the year. Now, it doesn't seem like 2 home games bearing in mind that the first game was out. But it is okay. So then week 3, all right, so let's say the Eagles start off 2-0. All right. Green Bay game's going to be a tough game, but I mean, now, this is interesting. Think about this. The Las Vegas odds makers must think the Eagles are going to be good this year. Why? Because, I mean, number one, we see all the primetime games that they're going to be on this year. But you've got the Green Bay Packers who made it to the NFC Championship game last year on neutral turf against the Eagles. Eagle team that struggled, limped home last year, and disgracefully lost in Tampa Bay in the first round of the playoffs last year. And yet, the Eagles are favored. Why? Las Vegas is thinking, well, the Eagles really helped themselves over the offseason with the signing Saquon Barkley, the great draft that they had. So you've got the NFC team that went to the NFC Finals is an underdog on a neutral field the first game of the year. So that tells you something right there that the Vegas likes the Eagles this year. So okay. So week 3, the Eagles hit the road and they go to New Orleans. Now, that's a very winnable game because New Orleans, they're no good shakes. Of course, it's a road game, so down there, anything can happen. But New Orleans isn't that good. Come on, they still have Kamara, and they still have some players there, but they're rebuilding too. I mean, come on. The Eagles should be able to take care of business. Yeah, I'm just saying. So let's say the Eagles start off 3-0. Maybe I'm a homer, but let's just say they start off 3-0. Okay. From there, they go to Tampa Bay. So that's 2 road games in a row. Tampa Bay is no great shakes either, as we've seen. It's a revenge game for the Eagles. Yes, it's another road game. It's probably going to still be hot down there since it's the end of September. But, they're playing revenge against Baker Mayfield. And it's a game the Eagles, it's a winnable. Okay? I know 2 road games. You would think they would lose one of them, but I'm saying Eagles win. Eagles win. They go 4-0 to start the season. They get their revenge on the Buccaneers. Okay. Now here's the kicker. Week number 5, the Eagles have a bye. Now you can look at it a couple different ways. Initially, you think, wow, that's early. There's about 4 teams that have byes on week 5. The Eagles are the one. But I'd say that kind of sucks because you've got then 12 straight weeks Eagles play football without a break. Ideally, it's nice to have the bye in kind of in the middle of the season. I don't know. I've also heard other theories that it's okay. Some jerks said, well, you get the tough part of the season over with, and you get the bye. What tough part? I mean, what the hell? The Packers are going to be a good game, but you've got the Falcons, all these NFC South teams, Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers. Really? That's tough. That's a tough part of the schedule. I don't know. So, to me, it seems a little early. I would have rather had, ideally, it's good to have the bye around week 8 or not, but it is what it is. So the Eagles have the bye. Hopefully they go 4-0 going into the bye. Yeah, coming out of the bye, they have a home game, week 6 against Cleveland. Now, that's a 1:00 game. Not many 1:00 games on the schedule, at least home games on the schedule. So it's a 1:00 game, which I love. I'm going to try to get tickets to that Cleveland game. I mean, Cleveland's a good team. Cleveland they were in the playoffs last year. Cleveland is a good team. They don't have Joe Flacco anymore. Okay. And we'll see what Deshaun Watson uh, is like. But Ravens got a good team. So that's going to be a challenge. Well, that's going to be a good game. Hopefully the weather will still be nice. Eagles coming home after a couple of weeks. And it's kind of news once. I mean, they went 10-1 last year to start the friggin' season, right? I'm not ready to give the Eagles a loss just because it sounds like oh, they're due to lose, and what the heck. So, I wouldn't be opposed being at home, coming off of a bye. I wouldn't be opposed to saying the Eagles are going to win that Cleveland game. Now let's take a look. Let's see who Cleveland's playing the week before that bye. They are playing. Wow, look at this, guys. They're playing Washington. The Eagles game, circle this on your calendar, okay? The Eagles game is the third road game in a row for the Browns. Week 4, they're at Las Vegas. Week 5, they're at Washington. Week 6, they are at the Eagles. So, you know what that means? Generally, 3 road games in a row, third road game, loss. It's a grind. 3 road games in a row. Team is looking forward to getting back home again. Loss. I just noticed that. So that's a game. Circle on your calendar. Win for the Eagles. Okay. So if true, that's going to be 5-0. The Eagles start off 5-0. And it's not a pipe dream. It's not a pipe dream. I really think the Eagles would have a great season. I think they're going to be very motivated and determined this year. Their talent is certainly up, right? These young players, hopefully Jalen Hurts has his hips back together again after last year, and he's healthy. AJ Brown should be happy. He got more money. Devontae Smith was extended. Okay. What's the line going to be like without Jason Kelsey? Well, we'll find out, right? But so it's not a pipe dream. Oh, I'm a big Eagles fan, Homer, blah, 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 blah. No. This is legit. And now that I know that the Browns are going to be on their third road game in a row against the Eagles, I love the Eagles even more that game. There you go. 5-0 Eagles. Okay. So after that, Eagles back on the road, playing at the Giants. Now, that's going to be fun because you've got Saquon Barkley going back to the Bengals, right? First division game of the year. And the rivalry between the Giants and the Eagles is starting to come alive again. I mean, mainly because the Giants, I wouldn't say they're a good team. They're far from a good team. They made the playoffs year before last, but I would say they're a good team. I think they're a little better. I don't know how much better. I mean, they still, regardless, the Giants, their offensive line may be improved. They may have this neighbor's kid, this fast kid at receiver, right? But the Giants are always going to suck until they get a real quarterback. And I thought Daniel Jones was the answer because he had a really good year 2 years ago. He running the ball, he was passing the ball, he wasn't throwing that many interceptions. He was okay. He was okay. He's no Patrick Mahomes. But it looked like Daniel Jones may have a little bit of a future with the Giants. Well, we saw what happened last year. So it's always a rivalry, though, between the Giants and the Eagles. And especially the way it ended last year, where the Giants creamed the Eagles up in New York. So yeah, it's always a tough game. I don't care what You going up there to New York, it's a tough game. Do I say the Eagles win up there? Well, I look at it this way. Eagles do have revenge after what happened late last year. Saquon Barkley's going to be pumped up for that game. Barkley, maybe if he's healthy, score 2-3 touchdowns up there. Maybe I'll blowing my board here or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying I think Barkley's going to be hyped for that game. Give him the ball. Give him the ball. What the hell? I'm going to say Eagles win. Eagles win up in New York. They start to set the new winning streak against the G. 6 in a row. 6-0 Eagles. All right, now here's where it gets after that game, the Eagles go back. They stay on the road, 2 in a row. They go to Cincinnati. Now this is where I think the Eagles lose their first game. I mean, from all reports, Joe Burrow is looking pretty good in his workouts. Of course, we're not going to know for sure until Burrow is in training camp. But don't forget, before Joe Burrow got hurt last year, the Bengals were they were a legitimate contender for the AFC North crowd along with Baltimore, right? Don't forget this Bengal team. It wasn't that long ago that they were in the Super Bowl. They've got some good players. Yes, they got rid of Joe Mixon. Yes, I know. But if Joe Burrow comes back healthy, quarterback, you can't count it out. You just can't. The last time, what happened last time? The Eagles went to Cincinnati, and then the Eagles had Cincinnati at home. The Eagles have a way. They had get into ties with the Bengals. So remember that. If you're a betting person, can you imagine what the odds are if you pick the Eagles Bengals to end up a tie that game? Well, they have a history of tying, right? It's something to keep in mind. File away. I'm just saying, right? But in lieu of a tie, I see the Eagles lose that game in Cincinnati, and they go 6-0. And it's a little advantage. I mean, Cincinnati can be pretty cold in the wintertime, so you're getting the Bengals there before it gets really cold. Okay. So next, let me find it. Yes, there it is. All right, so then the Eagles come home to play the Jacksonville Jaguars around first Sunday. It's a Sunday night game. First time on Sunday Night Football this year, playing the Jags. So you got the Jags. Number one, you got the Jags have a good team. Jags have a good team. And any team with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, you have to. So Trevor Lawrence is coming into the league, and then of course you have our old friend Doug is the coach. He's coming back to Philly, right? So I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. And for some reason the Jaguars are always giving people a tough time. It's not the old thing. Remember that game? Was it last year when they played in the rain? Was it the year before? Played in it was heavy rain in Philadelphia. And Jaguars got up big, and the Eagles came back on. Now, it always seems to be a tough game with those guys. Anyway, that should be a good game. The Sunday Night Football, okay? And I think the Eagles win that game. I think they go 7. All right, then. Then back on the road again, they go to Dallas. So here's the way I look at Dallas, okay? Dallas sucks. Okay, we know that. Dallas sucks. This is a make or break year for Dallas. Jerry Jones ain't getting any younger. And I think he's just about had it. with Dak Prescott and the rest. So I I think if they don't give the old man a championship this year, he's going to cut bait. I think he's going to overhaul the team. And Mike McCarthy, yeah, he is talk about coaching the hot seat. Huh? Oh, Jesus. We know the Cowboys joke. We know they joke. If they get into the playoffs this year, and I definitely think the Eagles are going to win the division. Number one, because they're a better team than the Cowboys this year. And number two, if you recall, no team has won the NFC East 2 years in a row since 2004, 20 years ago, when the Eagles did. So history is on the side of the Philadelphia. So, but with all that said, I think they split with the Cowboys again. And because the Cowboys are still in consistent. And for some reason, Eagles go down to Dallas like last year, and they get off this company. Well, I don't know what it is. They just sucked out there. Eagles haven't swept the Cowboys since what, 2012 or something, 2011. Anyway, so you got to figure it out. They're going to split with those guys. So I would say that's a loss. Eagles lost down there. 7-2. All right. All right, then you got the Eagles coming back home again in week 11. They play the Washington Commanders on Thursday night football. Well, Washington is what they are. I mean, I don't think they're a good team. I don't even know if you could say they're a rebuilding team. But they have some decent players down there, wide receivers. But generally, I mean, it's an overhaul whole franchise, right? You got Josh Harris on the team. What the hell, Josh Harris? And I guess you could say it's a big improvement over Daniel Snyder. But that team is in flux. I mean, they want to get a new stadium. They're trying to do all sorts of things. They're not very good. They have a rookie quarterback. Who knows what he's going to do about mid-season. I don't know. It's a division game, of course. So you can never count the underdogs out in a division game. But I still think the Eagles have too much over the Commanders and will win that game at home, and we'll go 8-2 up to that point. So, okay, then we have week 12, where we have a Sunday night football game. Second time the Eagles are on Sunday night football, and they're playing the Los Angeles Rams. Now, tough game. I like the Rams. I mean, you saw the Rams the way they played last year. You saw that. Remember that exciting game in the playoffs when they played the Lions, Sunday night football playoff game in Detroit? Wow, what a game, huh? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The Lions finally won that game. And I tell you what, the Rams are not to be taken lightly. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. And I'm going to say the Rams may just win the NFC West. And the reason I say that is because you've got a 49ers team. Let's face it. If history shows us anything, friends, it's that the loser of the Super Bowl, number one, rarely goes back to the Super Bowl. We know that. And number two, many times won't even make the playoffs the following year. Now, you might say, yeah, the 49ers are real good, right? Christian McCaffrey, all the weapons they have, good defense. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, we've thought that before. Oh, this team is really, hey, they lost the Super Bowl, but they're really good. They're going to either get back to the Super Bowl or at least make the playoffs. Don't put your money. 49ers, I don't know. They're still a good team. Don't get me wrong. I kind of wish the Eagles played them this year. Get a little revenge after what happened last year. But I like the Rams. as long as Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, they're going to take a hit. I know. Losing Aaron Donald retired. I know. Big loss there. But I like the Rams. I love their speed. I love their offense. Sean McVay, who I think is a good coach. So Eagles got to travel west. Never easy. I'd say the Rams win that game out there. I mean, the Eagles have gone out there and got one. We've seen that. Including, you remember, back in 2017 when Carson Wentz got hurt. So Eagles can win out there. Don't get me wrong. I just think the Rams they're good. 8-3 Eagles, huh? I'll take that. That's not bad. Now, all right. So we go on here, and we have week 11, week number 13. They're at Baltimore. Well, Eagles really never play well in Baltimore. I don't know. It's close. They're going out to LA. Then they got to come back east. Got to travel there. Coming back, they got to play down in Baltimore. Baltimore, as we know, great team. Got to the AFC Championship game. Lamar Jackson. A lot of weapons there, too. So, it's going to be fascinating how they use Derrick Henry down there. You hate to say this Eagle team is going to lose 2 in a row. Or they could beat either the Rams or the Ravens or both. Don't get me wrong. They could do it. I just, I don't know. You got to say, with all these games, all these picking, you're going to hear this on the radio, a different podcast for the next, until the season starts, right? And this is what people do. The schedule comes out, they go through the schedule, like we're doing, and they try to pick winners and losers. But you really don't know. You really don't know. Teams that we think are good now, like the 49ers, may not be good by mid-season. By the same token, teams we don't think are going to be good, let's say, I don't know, let's say the Chicago Bears, get to week number 13, saying, well, this team is really up. They're doing well. They're doing good. Look what happened to the Lions last year, right? We knew the Lions had a lot of talent, but they never put it together. Last year, they put it. Well, there's always 1 or 2 surprise teams like that, right? So, even though we're having fun with this going through the schedule thing, you really can't take a lot of this seriously. Even what we're doing, we're just doing this for fun. Don't listen to the radio and think these guys are gospel. They don't know. They don't know about injuries. They don't know about which teams are going to tank by the middle of the season, which teams are going to be rejuvenated. We don't know. Oh no, we're just having fun with it. All right, so Baltimore, okay. Now we get into the beginning of December. And now we start seeing, out of the 5 games left in the Eagles' schedule. Don't forget the Eagles are 8 and 4. 4 of the games are at home. Which again could be advantageous if the Eagles are battling for the division. Naturally, they're going to have the advantage of having a lot of their own games, especially these division games at the end. So they start off December with Carolina at the lake. Now you would think, okay, that's easy peasy, 1 o'clock game. You know what? No game is ever easy in the NFL. I would be very, very surprised if the Panthers had a good year. You could say, well, maybe they are one of these teams that don't look good on paper, but play well as the season progresses. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not a big fan of Bryce Young, the quarterback down. Not a big fan. He's got to prove it to me that he could play in the NFL. Not a big fan of this franchise. Traded away a lot of the draft picks. It's going to take a while for the Panthers to be competitive anymore. I got to give the Eagles the win there, especially at home. So the Eagles go 9-4. Then we see, hello, dogs, wherever you are. All right, so the Eagles start off with Carolina. Then they have the Steelers in Keystone State. Robert Steelers come in and play the Eagles. Always a bitter rivalry, you know. But the Steelers never do well at Philadelphia. No, I don't know what it is. I'll say one thing: their fans do travel. Their fans do come across the state. You can expect a boatload of Steelers fans in that direction. Who knows, right? I mean, the Steelers are one of these teams. We don't know how to play. I mean, they've got Russell Wilson, who lost a quarterback. Drafted a quarterback. I don't know. The Steelers always are this grinded out running team, right? By then the weather might be cold, might be bad, and so I don't know. They don't score the points. I gotta give it to you. I gotta say they're gonna win. They're not gonna waste all these home games. I gotta say they're gonna go 10-4. 10-4. All right, then they got 3 more games left in the season. The last road game is at Washington. They play the Commanders. Hopefully by then the Commanders are going to have raised the white flag, given up the season. But again, it's a road game and it's a division game. Never lose. Eagles can't take the Commanders lightly because it is a division game. So I see the Eagles win down there, but it's not going to be easy. It's not easy. Eagles go 11-4. Last 2 games of the year. Dallas and right after Christmas. Well, we already said Eagles are going to split with the Cowboys. We gave the Cowboys the win down in Dallas earlier in the year. You got to give the Eagles a win here in Philadelphia. But, it's up for grabs. I mean, come on. Cowboys probably will be fighting for their lives, fighting for the division. And as much as they suck, as much as I hate the Cowboys, I'm not taking anything away from the Cowboys. Because we just don't know what's going on. Since we said that the Eagles are going to lose the first time to the Cowboys, I give the Eagles the win here. And they go 12-4. And the final game of the year is at home against the Giants. Like the last 3 years, isn't that something? The Eagles finish up the season with the Giants. What is it? Then the NFL wants division teams play each other the last 2 weeks of the season, I believe, to stir up a lot of interest. And I get that. That's fine. But it's always the Giants. Well, hopefully, we see what happened last year, where the Giants ambushed the Eagles. But, that was a different Eagle team. Now, God forbid the Eagles are in that shape this year, where they're scuffling just to get into the freaking playoffs, right? And they're on a long losing streak. God forbid that. I mean, last year the Giants really didn't have anything to play for, but they got up to play the Eagles. So it could happen again this year. A couple differences. Number one, Eagles are a different team, and hopefully they will be a different team this year. Number two, they're playing in Philadelphia. Yeah, the other thing is maybe that game isn't going to be much. But maybe, hopefully, the Eagles are going to win the division way before the final week of the season. In order to rest the starters going into the playoffs. Maybe the Eagles don't play their start. They play their backups, and who knows? Maybe the Giants can. It is a division game. So, just for the fun of it, we'll say Eagles win. They go 13-4. Now I even said that's probably not going to happen. Yeah, the Eagles won 14 games a couple years. We know that. So it's definitely possible. But to have the Eagles win all their home games, all but one division game, that's asking a lot, especially the team that struggled last year, especially coming down the stretch. I'm hitting a lot of my hopes on the Eagles being a different team this year. It would surprise the hell out of me, my friends, if the Eagles weren't a different team this year. If they struggle at the end of the year like they did last year, heads have to roll. Whether it be Coach Nick Sirianni or I don't know, heads have to roll. Here's the thing. I think it's going to be a different year for the Eagles because of their coordinators. I think having really bad coordinators last year was much more of a problem than we even knew about or know about. I think it affected this team so much that it just threw everybody off kilter. The offensive coordinator wasn't good. Maybe that's what got into Jalen Hurts' head. Who knows? Yeah, they had injuries too down the stretch. I get that. But especially the putrid defensive coordinator. I mean, in fact, they replaced the defensive coordinator, if not in title. And they brought Matt Patricia in. He stunk. Oh, Jesus. Matt Patricia, give me a break. Looking back on this, 2020 hindsight, looking back on the Eagles season last year, can you believe it? That they brought in Matt freaking Patricia to coach the defense at the end of last year? That's how pathetic this team was at the end of the year. Oh, Jesus, come on. So, my contention is this. I think the Eagles, by having competent, not even competent, good coordinators, especially on defense, Nick Fangio, you think about what he's done in the past, I think it's going to make a big difference. Players still have to go out and make plays. We know that. But when you mix everything together, motivation, determination, try to make up for a bad season last year, the new coordinators, the improvement in the draft, free agents. You put it all together. You mix all this stuff up in a pot, like stew, like Eagles stew. The Eagles can't be the same team that they were last year, and that's my point. If they're the same team as they were last year down the stretch, heads have to roll because the Eagles have a much better schedule. There's no excuses for the Eagles to be the team that they were last year. No excuses. So that's why I think the Eagles are going to finish 13-4. They're going to win the NFC East. Now, will 13-4 be good enough to get the top seed in the NFC? I don't know. We'll see. But as I said, I don't have high hopes for the 49ers. I think the Rams are going to win that division. I don't have the Lions. The Lions have to prove it to me 2 years in a row. The Lions have enough to worry about in their own division. They're going to have their hands full with Green Bay and Chicago. especially. And the NFC South, who? I mean, don't make me. So, to me, the Eagles have a really, really good chance to be the number one seed in the NFC. Now, even if they are, they still have to go out and win the games in order to get to the Super Bowl. We know that. But I think they, and I'm saying it as a, not just as an Eagles fan, I'm saying it looking at it logically, that I think the Eagles will have a really, really good season. So that's my breakdown of the season. Of course, it'll probably change. Yeah, we have what, 4 months to go until the NFL season begins. A lot could happen between now and then, especially in training camp. So let's hope for the best, huh? Don't forget to put those little nuggets away that we talked about. The Browns, when they play the Eagles to run their third straight road game. You know, don't forget that. The Eagles play the Ravens. They're coming off of a West Coast trip back east. That's not good. Yeah, you got all these little things to keep in mind as the year goes. So, anyway, it was a lot of fun. We'll talk more about the Eagles roster, more about the season as the days and the weeks move on. All right, enjoy looking forward to the season. I am, even though I'm a huge baseball fan, and the Phillies are the best freaking team in baseball. And I think the Phillies are going to go to the World Series too. Wouldn't that be something? In the same freaking year, for the first time in history, Phillies win the World Series, and the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Two parades, one in November and then one in February. I mean, if that happens, it could happen. And I'm saying it will happen. There you go. And I'm not even drinking other than water. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Hey, you know what? I may do a little podcast today. I got some crap I want to talk about. And you'll be seeing me around. We got our weekly TV show that we're going to discuss probably tomorrow. So hang with me. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. And go Eagles! And I'll see you soon. I got to put the glasses on because I can't see a damn thing, and I have to turn it off. Whew. There it is. There it is. Talk to you later. Fly, Eagles, fly.